forgetfulness, having no idea what he's doing, signed his executive orders, didn't know what they're about, surely never read them. I mean, he can't read to an adult level. Speaking incoherently, slurring his words. He's been doing that in public for several for several years. Oh, I must have it too. And I remember a doctor saying there was the old Goldwater rule when people were saying that Barry Goldwater, the Republican candidate in 1964, suffered derangement of mind. And some people say, well, let's not misuse psychiatric language for political smears, and it'd be unethical for a doctor to diagnose a patient if he or she has not examined that patient. But there are doctors in more recent years who said, well, there is so much footage of Trump that we can diagnose, because you can watch thousands of hours of footage of him if you want to, and you can compare and contrast where he is now versus where he was 20 years ago, and the lucidity he had then versus the insanity that he's suffering at the moment. Bear in mind, his father had Alzheimer's, and it's hereditary, which doesn't guarantee that Donald J. Trump would get it. One of his brothers died young of alcoholism. Another died a couple of years ago. His sister's still alive. So far as I know, none of his siblings had Alzheimer's, which doesn't guarantee that he would get it or that he wouldn't get it. It could be none of the four get it. It could be all the four get it. But so far as I know, he's the only one in which it's likely. Admittedly, one of his brothers died in his 30s, and it's virtually impossible to get it that young. But so memory lapses, losing things. Often he doesn't know where things are in the room, where he is, wandering off. He can't find the right word, mispronouncing things. So all sorts of misjudgments. His decision making is very erratic. His lability. So he suffers these mood swings. He hates Kim Jong-un, fire and fury, till we fell in love, and things like that. Helpful to Ukraine, cutting off all aid to Ukraine. He could go back, or a bit like when there was that government shutdown over the border in 2019. This was national security, state of emergency. No, 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 until all of a sudden it wasn't. Okay, so he's never going to back down, and then he does. Never surrender. Wouldn't hand himself in to get arrested for these trials, except he did. No, he didn't lose the 2020 election. No, 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 he didn't. No, no, not going to go until he did. The thing with these tariffs, I think that is the ray of hope, is that he's so unreliable, he's going to back out on these. And the people think they can depend on him. Well, you can't.